Well, at Georgia Pacific, advancing women is really a key part of our war for talent. But it's not that simple. You can't just bring people in. You really have to have a beneficial culture that will allow them to thrive so that not only do they come in, they can move up and they can succeed. And that is true of all diverse populations. And you can't have a beneficial culture if you don't have enough diversity. And you can't have a beneficial culture if you don't respect people. And you can't have a beneficial culture if you don't have some way of being inclusive about people. So you have to have a way to be able to draw out what different types of people think so that one day it's totally natural. And then you will not only have hired women and retained them, you will see them move up. At Georgia Pacific, we generally would think that policies would be too rule-based and people might follow them in a way that doesn't actually build the kind of culture you want. So we would be generally focused on the culture. And there's a couple of aspects of the culture I'd like to call out. One is the respect for people. So if you have a culture where people are not respectful to people in general, even if they're all men, to start, then you have to think about whether that will ever help contribute to you having a situation where you can have a diverse population. So we would, when we hire people, when we talk to people, we are looking for people that fit in our culture. And one of the key things that we look for is whether or not they respect people. If they respect people, then you have a chance of then talking about the importance of diversity and getting diversity into your culture and getting people to come in. But what does that really mean? That means that you have to be able to work with all different kinds of people, whether they're disabled, people of color, different sexual orientation, women. All people need to be able to fit. And so you have to have leaders that are committed to wanting all different kinds of thought. And if they're not committed to it, then it's unlikely the policy will really get enacted in the way that you had hoped it would. So when we're screening for people that we think belong in our culture, we're looking for that attitude. Now they can have respect for people and they can be very interested in diversity of thought and still not get there. Because then you have to help people understand how important it is to be inclusive and to draw out what other people think. And we call that the challenge process. We want diverse people with diverse thoughts, and we want leaders who can draw out those diverse thoughts, and we call that inclusion, and we also call it the challenge process at Georgia Pacific. So when all is said and done, for us, it's not about the policies, it's about the beneficial culture that results in some things that you might call policies. I am proud of the work I've seen WFF do on insights-driven information. And I would like to see that continued and expanded on behalf of all the members of the organization. The second idea I think that is important is looking at the full strategy to embrace technology. And so the first one is embrace technology to reach more members. The second is to embrace technology to reach more donors. And the third is to embrace technology to train more people, because not everybody can come to a convention. Number three, WFF can expand to all people, women and men.